In today's episode, I take a look at a potential setup on pound Aussie dollar and the FTSE. Bruce from SSFX Management discusses a short setup on Euro New Zealand dollar, and we also announce our second TradingView Trade of the Week winner. Enjoy. Alright, the first chart I want to discuss is that of pound Aussie dollar, and we're on the weekly chart over here. And what you can note, if I even zoom out a little bit, we've had this big impulsive move up. We had the drop, and now we're busy with what seems to be quite a complex correction over here. Now, I believe that once this correction is going to finish, we're actually going to make have some new lows over here. And but before we get to these lows, currently we have a bit of bullish price action going on. And I've marked off two levels on the chart here. I've marked off this little weekly order block over here, this last weekly bearish block before the market had this impulsive move. And since then it had about 3 weeks of corrective price action over here. And I've also marked off this little sort of swing point over here, which I will be using for my target for the longs. And next week we're going to be looking for longs once we get to this order block, and hopefully we'll catch this nice move up before we can start maybe looking for shorts. But let's just quickly switch down to the 8-hour time frame. So switching down to the 8-hour time frame, this is the weekly order block I marked on the higher time frame. And this red line is the liquidity level that I marked. Now, after this market had this big impulsive spike, it took both these highs, so it took a lot of liquidity. And since then, we see some corrective price action. Now, it should be drawn to the next liquidity point, which is this little low over here. And this is where hopefully we'll come a little bit lower. And here we'll find our little entry pattern. And then, if all goes to plan, we'll go higher towards this 1.92 level. So this one is quite close to entering. So hopefully early next week we'll find our entry on this one. So even just switching now to the 1-hour time frame to pinpoint our entries a little bit more. We do have this 1-hour order block, this last bearish move before we had this impulsive move, coming in just below the weekly order block we marked, and this comes in around 1.843. So for me, in an ideal scenario, we would come down all the way to this level, and hopefully there we'll find our reaction to get long. Alright, the next chart I want to discuss is an index, and it's the FTSE 100. You guys know from the last few weeks we've been looking for some shorts on the indices, and they're getting really close to those levels that we marked off. And here's another one that's looking quite bearish to me. And I'm again starting off on the weekly time frame here. And we had this big impulsive move down, the move up, and then market came down, took the liquidity, and since then it's been moving up. Now, normally when the market moves, takes liquidity and moves in an impulsive way, we normally look for it to at least get to the other side of liquidity. It hasn't reached that yet. It's got these sort of triple tops or double tops over here. And just above it we have this weekly order block, this last bearish block before the market ran the liquidity and started coming down. So ideally what I'm going to be looking for to develop on this is a bit of an expanding flat after it took these lows. Hopefully it'll take these highs into that order block, and then I'm expecting this market to make new lows to complete a little bit of an A, B, C pattern. So just moving down to the daily time frame, as you guys can see, this is that order block that we marked off, or supply zone depending on the language you use. But this is also our little breaker block, the last bearish move before the market had the stop run and came crashing down. So a lot of confidence over here, and early next week we'll be looking for a move into this area. And in here we'll be looking for some price action, and if we find it, hopefully we can get short this market. But yeah, good luck guys, and I'll see you in the trading room.
Yeah, this is our EURNZD. This is what we have. First of all, we look at this small trend line there, right? And then we look at this level here, our level 1, level 2, level 3. So we're expecting price from that level 3 to push all the way down to that level. Maybe a small pullback to this lows here that will be taken out. Maybe a small pullback, and then we can have another sell going down there. So for now, for me, it's sell right now. Sell at current market price with your stop loss about there, right? With your target all the way down there, right? So another thing you can hear, this is our change of structure. Like I said, the trend line is our indicator. And then what else can we add? We can add like bearish flag. If you pull your Fibo from here to there, this is our 61.8 here. And then we're expecting price to pull back to that level, right? And then if it pulls back to that level, you can either take your profit, your first target here, and then wait for the pullback to this level, and then push the price all the way down. This is a nice setup, guys. This is what we see this week. We see change of structure. We see bearish flag. We see 61.8 of Fibo. We see our nice 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, guys. We'll talk again next week.